Welcome back to Coinage Era. On this channel, we don't just look at old coins, we uncover the stories, history, and hidden meaning behind them. Today, we're exploring the fascinating journey of the Belgian 1 franc coin, a coin that silently witnessed decades of change in Belgium. From post-war recovery to modern Europe, this small coin carries a big story. Belgium's most iconic 1 franc coins from 1948, 1957, 1963, 1972 to 1975, each coin tells a story of Belgium's history, from post-war recovery to industrial growth in modern Europe. Depending on condition, these coins can be worth anywhere from $2 up to $300 plus, making them not just currency, but pieces of history collectors love to treasure. Now, let's explore its story 1 year at a time. The 1948 Belgian 1 franc coin was born in one of the most critical periods of Belgium's history. Just 3 years after the end of World War II, the country was still healing from deep economic wounds, destroyed infrastructure, and social uncertainty. Belgium, like much of Europe, faced shortages of raw materials, food, and currency metals. Because of this, the government chose aluminum for minting the 1 franc coin, a lightweight, affordable metal that symbolized practicality during hard times. This decision itself tells a powerful story of survival and adaptation. The design of the 1948 coin carries quiet strength. The left-facing female profile represents liberty and the spirit of the Belgian people. Her calm expression reflects resilience rather than luxury, reminding citizens that stability was slowly returning. This coin circulated heavily in daily life, used by workers, shopkeepers, and families rebuilding their routines. It passed through countless hands, buying bread, milk, and transport tickets, becoming a silent witness to everyday struggles and small victories. Historically, the year 1948 was also important for Belgium's reintegration into the global economy. The country was part of the Marshall Plan, receiving aid to rebuild industries and restore confidence. The 1 franc coin became a symbol of this new beginning, simple, humble, but reliable. While it had very little value individually, collectively it fueled trade, trust, and normalcy in Belgian society. Today, the 1948 Belgian 1 franc coin is more than just an old piece of aluminum. For collectors and historians, it represents a turning point, the moment Belgium stood back on its feet after devastation. Its worn surfaces often tell personal stories of hardship and endurance. That is why this coin holds emotional and historical value far beyond its face value, making it a true relic of post-war Europe. As time passed, the 1948 Belgian 1 franc coin slowly disappeared from daily circulation, but its importance only grew stronger with history. Because these coins were made of aluminum, most of them suffered heavy wear, scratches, and corrosion over decades of use. Finding a 19481 franc coin today in good or uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly difficult. This natural loss over time has added to the coin's collectible appeal. From a numismatic point of view, the value of this coin depends heavily on its condition. A heavily circulated 1948 Belgian 1 franc may still be common, but a well-preserved example tells a different story. Coins with sharp details, clear facial features, and minimal surface damage are far more desirable among collectors. Especially coins that have never been cleaned or polished can attract strong interest. Estimated worth. Circulated condition, usually worth $2 to $10. Very fine to extremely fine, around $20 to $50. Uncirculated or mint state can reach $100 to $300 plus. Exceptional condition or rare mint quality, sometimes valued even higher by serious collectors. Beyond money, the real worth of the 1948 Belgian 1 franc coin lies in its historical legacy. It represents a nation rising from destruction, ordinary people rebuilding their lives, and a new chapter in European history. For collectors, owning this coin feels like holding a small but powerful piece of post-war Europe, a reminder that even the simplest coins can carry extraordinary stories. Now, let's move on to the next coin. The 1957 Belgian 1 franc coin is a fascinating piece of history, minted during a time when Belgium was entering a period of post-war recovery and industrial growth. Unlike the 1948 coin, which symbolized survival and rebuilding, the 1957 coin reflects stability, optimism, and progress. The nation was now moving forward, factories were reopening, trade was flourishing, and everyday life was slowly returning to normal. In many ways, this coin is a snapshot of Belgium stepping confidently into the modern era. The design is striking in its simplicity yet elegance. The familiar left-facing bust of Liberty appears sharper and more refined, symbolizing a confident and proud nation. Her calm and composed expression reflects hope and resilience, while subtle details in her hair and facial features show the evolution of artistic techniques at the Royal Mint. This coin was made of aluminum, lightweight and practical for circulation, allowing it to be used widely in daily transactions, from buying bread and chocolate to paying for tram rides and market goods. Historically, 1957 was an important year not only for Belgium but also for Europe. Belgium was becoming a founding member of the European Economic Community, and the economy was slowly modernizing. People carrying this coin were participating, unknowingly, in a transformative era, a small aluminum disc connecting daily life to a larger story of European integration, trade, and cultural exchange. For collectors today, the 1957 Belgian 1 franc coin is prized both for its artistic beauty and its historical significance. Coins in circulated condition are relatively common, but finding pieces in very fine or uncirculated condition is increasingly rare. The value reflects this. Circulated, $2, $10, very fine, $20, $50. Uncirculated, mint state, $100, $250 plus. This coin is not just currency. It's a tiny time capsule. Each scratch or mark tells a story of everyday life in Belgium during the 1950s. Owning it is like holding a piece of history, a reminder of a nation moving forward with hope, resilience, and pride. Now let's move toward our next coin. The 1963 Belgian 1 franc coin represents a period when Belgium was fully stepping into modern Europe. By the early 1960s, the country had moved beyond post-war recovery and was experiencing economic expansion, technological progress, and social change. This coin circulated during a time when cities were growing, industries were modernizing, and everyday life was becoming more comfortable for the average citizen. The design continues the iconic left-facing portrait of Liberty, but with even cleaner lines and improved detailing, reflecting advancements in minting technology. Made of lightweight aluminum, the coin was easy to carry and extremely practical, making it one of the most commonly used coins in Belgium during the 1960s. Millions of people handled this coin daily, often without realizing the historical moment they were living in. From a collector's point of view, the 1963 Belgian 1 franc coin is valued for its consistency and condition. While many examples are worn from circulation, coins that retain sharp facial details and smooth surfaces are becoming harder to find. Its value today depends largely on preservation. Circulated, $2, $8. Very fine, $15, $40. Uncirculated, mint state, $80, $200 plus. This coin stands as a symbol of progress, stability, and confidence, a reflection of Belgium's place in a rapidly changing Europe. Holding it today feels like touching a moment when the future looked bright and full of possibility. This was an era of confidence and transformation. Streets were busier, industries stronger, and society was changing rapidly. The coin passed from hand to hand in cafes, tram stations, local markets, and small family shops, becoming part of countless ordinary moments that together shaped nation's modern identity. Unlike earlier post-war coins that symbolized survival, the 1963 coin represents normalcy and progress. Belgium was no longer rebuilding, it was growing. The familiar portrait on the coin stood as a reminder of national unity and continuity, unchanged even as the world around it evolved. Each scratch and mark on the coin today reflects years of daily use, human touch, and lived history. Over time, as newer designs and currencies entered circulation, This coin slowly lost its place in everyday transactions. Yet its story did not end there. What was once a simple tool of commerce became a silent witness to a decade of change, a physical memory of a society moving confidently toward the future. Today, holding the 1963 Belgian 1 franc coin feels like holding a frozen moment from the 1960s, tells a story of stability, growth, and quiet optimism, proof that even the smallest coins can carry the weight of history. Now, let's move toward our next coin. The 1972 Belgian 1 franc coin belongs to a very different phase of Belgium's history. By the early 1970s, Belgium had fully entered the modern age. Society was changing fast, the lifestyles, prices, transportation, and even the way people spent money were evolving. This coin circulated during a time when cash was still king, and small denominations like the 1 franc played an important role in daily life. Unlike earlier decades, the 1970s brought inflation and rising costs, which slowly reduced the purchasing power of the 1 franc coin. What once could buy essential items was now enough only for small everyday expenses. Even so, this coin remained widely used, passing through millions of hands in shops, buses, vending machines, and markets. Its lightweight aluminum body made it practical, but it also meant the coin wore down quickly through constant circulation. From a historical value perspective, the 1972 coin represents a shift, not survival, not rebuilding, but transition. Belgium was adjusting to economic pressure, social change, and a more interconnected Europe. The familiar Liberty portrait still appeared on the coin, offering a sense of continuity in a rapidly changing world. For many people, this coin was part of routine life, often overlooked, yet deeply embedded in daily experience. The real value history of the 1972 Belgian 1 franc coin is especially interesting. At the time of issue, its face value mattered less than its usefulness. Over the years, as inflation continued and newer coins entered circulation, the 1 franc slowly lost its economic importance. What gave it value later was not money, but time. Coins that survived decades without heavy damage became representatives of an era when small change still mattered. Today, when collectors look at the 1972 Belgian 1 franc, they don't just see aluminum, they see a marker of the 1970s, a decade of adjustment and transformation. This coin sits between old traditions and modern currency systems, carrying forward the story that began with earlier franc issues and setting the stage for what came next. By the early 1970s, Belgium was experiencing social and economic shifts. Consumer habits were changing, cities were growing busier, and people were becoming more conscious of money's real value. The 1 franc coin reflected this transition. It was no longer a symbol of growth or optimism, but of adjustment, adapting to rising prices and a faster-moving society. Still, the unchanged portrait on the coin offered a quiet sense of continuity, reminding people of stability amid change. As newer coins and denominations appeared, the 19721 franc slowly began to lose prominence, yet it never disappeared suddenly. Instead, it faded gradually, sharing space with modern designs while holding on to its place through habit and necessity. The 1975 Belgian 1 franc coin belongs to a period when Belgium and much of Europe was facing deep economic and social transformation. The mid-1970s were shaped by inflation, rising fuel prices, and uncertainty caused by global economic shocks. During this time, the value of small coins was slowly declining. Yet the 1 franc remained an essential part of everyday transactions. It may not have had strong purchasing power, but it still played a practical role in daily life. By 1975, Belgium was no longer in a phase of rebuilding or growth. It was in a phase of adjustment. People were becoming more careful with money. Prices were rising faster than wages, and even small amounts mattered. The 1 franc coin moved constantly through hands in bakeries, cafes, buses, and local shops. It was often used to complete payments rather than stand alone, showing how its role had subtly changed over time. The design of the coin stayed familiar, keeping the same symbolic portrait that Belgians had known for decades. This consistency mattered. In an era of uncertainty, familiar currency gave people a sense of stability. The lightweight aluminum construction made the coin easy to carry, but it also meant that many coins became worn quickly, gaining scratches and marks that today tell stories of heavy circulation. What makes the 1975 coin historically important is not rarity, but context. It represents the moment when the Belgian franc was still central to daily life, yet slowly approaching the end of its strongest influence. This coin circulated in a society becoming more modern, more urban, and more economically aware, a bridge between traditional cash culture and the changing financial habits that would follow. As a bridge between traditional cash culture and the changing financial habits that would follow. During the late 1970s, the 1975 Belgian 1 franc coin became part of a generation that was witnessing rapid change in everyday life. Supermarkets were expanding, public transport systems were modernizing, and consumer behavior was shifting. Even small coins like the 1 franc had to adapt to a faster-moving economy. For many people, this coin became a symbol of routine rather than value. It was often collected in jars at home, stored in wallets for exact change, or used repeatedly for minor transactions. Children encountered this coin early in life, using it for sweets or small treats, making it part of personal memories rather than economic importance. In this way, the coin quietly embedded itself into Belgian social culture. As years passed, newer denominations and designs began to appear, and the role of the 1 franc slowly diminished. However, the 1975 issue did not vanish suddenly. It continued to circulate alongside newer coins, reflecting how societies rarely abandon familiar tools overnight. As years passed, newer denominations and designs began to appear, and the role of the 1 franc slowly diminished. However, the 1975 issue did not vanish suddenly. It continued to circulate alongside newer coins, reflecting how societies rarely abandon familiar tools overnight. Each scratch and worn edge represents years of movement through pockets, purses, and cash drawers, a physical record of daily Belgian life during a time of transition. By the end of the decade, the 1 franc was no longer a symbol of purchasing power but of continuity. It connected generations, reminding people of a time when physical money shaped everyday interactions. The 1975 Belgian 1 franc coin stands today as a quiet witness to economic change, social adaptation, and the slow evolution of currency itself. As we look back at these Belgian 1 franc coins from 1948 to 1975, we realize they are more than just pieces of metal. Each coin represents a different chapter in Belgium's journey: recovery after war, growth and confidence, transition and change. These coins passed through millions of hands, witnessed everyday life, and quietly recorded history in their worn edges and faded details. Though their face value was small, their historical value is immense. They remind us of a time when coins truly mattered in daily life, when every bit of change carried meaning. Holding them today feels like holding memories of people, places and moments long gone, yet never forgotten. If you enjoy real coin stories and hidden history, stay connected because every coin has a story waiting to be told.